Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today we are doing a garden tour and announcing our next giveaway. Alright guys, so I'm going to hop into it because I'm pretty excited about it, but our next giveaway is going to be our 10K giveaway. So once we hit 10,000 subscribers, and we are going to put together this giveaway, and it's going to be designed to help people grow a small space garden. So we're going to pick one person, and that person is going to win a cool prize by our sponsor, which is Mightycrop. They are going to be sponsoring our giveaway with a 4-pack of the Mightycrop. So you can grow either 4 different plants, you can grow 2 plants, like if you use 2 of them like I have back here, or however you want to use them. Also with that giveaway, we're going to be giving away a seed saving container, which is really cool. And then the last thing is going to be a $50 gift card to be able to buy yourself some seeds, some soil, and everything that you would need to get your garden going. So I'm really excited about that. It's really easy to enter to win. All you have to do is be subscribed to the YouTube channel and also follow Mightycrop on Instagram, which I'll put their Instagram here, and then if you don't get it here, then you can get it below in the description. Now, what's going to be really cool about this giveaway, guys, is that you can have more than one entry, and I really appreciate how everybody has commented on a lot of my videos, has helped other people with questions that even I can't answer, and also just giving me encouragement when I really needed it in my garden. So I am going to be counting each comment. So each video that you comment on, you'll get 1 entry into the giveaway. And so you can have as many comments or many entries as we have videos. So I hope that you guys really enjoy this giveaway. I'm super excited about it. And I think that it's going to really help a person get their garden started or expand their garden that they already have. Now, let's get to the tour. Now, I do have shade cloth up in my garden, so if you guys see a bunch of cloth everywhere and you're new to my channel, that's what it is. It reached 100 degrees yesterday, and it's going to be in the 90s for the next like 2 weeks. So I have the shade cloth up, and we are protecting the garden so that it can continue to grow and be beautiful. But let's start with the herb bed. Alright guys, so I had the sweet marjoram and the oregano that both got a huge haircut, and as you can see, the sweet marjoram is already trying to make a comeback. The oregano is a little bit slower to the game, but the sweet marjoram, it's coming back already. I have some lemon thyme over here. This thyme is starting to die, it's a regular thyme, and then I have a purple basil, some rosemary, some parsley that's also going to get a big haircut and put in the freezer, and then I have some sage, purple sage, regular sage, variegated sage, a holy basil that's trying to become alive back there. I don't know if it's going to grow up, but it's trying. And then some more rosemary and a chive, which look at this, guys. It is showing off its new little flower. So I have never grown chives to like their full maturity when they flower. So it grew like this little bud on the top of it. And I was like, huh, I wonder what that is. At first I thought it was something that laid something on there, but then I was like, oh no, that's a flower, that's a scape. And it flowered this morning. Alright guys, now we're going to continue on the patio part of my garden. So check this out. My bush cucumber is starting to have little cucumbers on it. I hope that they are all pollinated, but this has a ton of just little cucumbers on it already. So I'm pretty excited about that. We have a purple Cherokee tomato here. And then my beans, if you guys watch my video, I have destroyed some of these bush beans, so it's going to take a lot of replanting, and hopefully I can get them replanted in time for it to survive the summer. But I have some that are doing okay, like these or these, and then the rest are just kind of destroyed. But, you know, have some wins, you have some losses in your garden. Now over here, I have my collard greens back there. Those are still doing really great. I have some watermelon right here. These are a mini watermelon. I think they're a crimson is what they're called. They're a mini watermelon. And then I have some mint going on up there, and then just a flower over here. I'm trying to plant more flowers in the garden. Now I also have a full-size cantaloupe right here. We're gonna see how this all goes with this watermelon and cantaloupe and green bed. We're gonna see how it happens. So I still have some more collards there. I have Swiss chard right there, some kale right here, and then more Swiss chard, and then this one is a black diamond watermelon. So we're gonna see how all this goes. And then I have the artichoke that never gives me artichoke, just takes up space. Now I feel like that artichoke needed to be planted in ground, and it was not. I put it there because I wanted an artichoke because I love artichoke and it's expensive. And then I was like, well, I didn't have room out in my bed, and I was like, oh, it's gonna get big and it's gonna come back. I'll just put it here. I think that was a bad decision because I don't think that it is giving me artichoke because it doesn't have enough space for its roots. But who knows? We're on year 1 officially, so we'll see what happens. So continuing on, I still have yet to go in and pull all the rest of the spinach out. I still need to do that. And then some parsley's flowering in here too as well. I'm going to be pulling all this, putting it in the freezer. And then these were the beans that kind of got destroyed, but you know, win some, you lose some, guys. And then this one is a Texas wild cherry. So that one is another cherry tomato plant. And then over here, things start to get a little bit better. So I have my shishito peppers, which already this one is getting a little bit of shishitos, starting to get them now. But if you look over here, we got even more shishitos on this one over here. These are the 2 that I just cut back, so they're starting to give me more shishitos. My jalapeno plant is giving me some more jalapenos on it too as well. This one I just cut back, so it's starting to grow back and grow some more flowers on it too. I have a rosemary up here, and I have a borage that, look guys, I think the borage is going to start to flower soon, so that's going to be pretty. And then I have some ground cherries. So if you guys look underneath here, I have tons of little ground cherries forming all over the place. So I'm pretty excited about that, to try them. These are supposed to be like super sweet, so we'll see what it tastes like. And then I just have some flowers right there and some flowers over here to kind of help the bees. And we have some basil going back here. And then I have my cherry tomato 100 sweets that is doing really well. I'm going to be harvesting a lot more of these little cherry tomatoes. These have been going in the freezer, and they add so much of a punch to your dish that you have because they have a strong tomato flavor to them. And then guys, look, I killed the stevia plant. So it is dead. I'm going to be pulling that and maybe trying to start a new one, but the echinacea one next to it is doing well. These ones I forgot to water when I watered the garden, and I don't know how I forgot them, but I did, and they just, yeah, did not survive. Now what I'm really excited about is look at the eggplant. I have one eggplant there coming along, and I have another one, a big one right here, that I'll be able to harvest probably tomorrow. And then I have some more growing inside of here too as well. Okay, so I had a question about eggplant, and I want to show the person that asked me on the video so that then maybe they can compare it to their garden and see if what's going on is actually happening. Now, eggplant takes forever to kind of create an eggplant. And sometimes you'll think that the flower is like dead because it kind of falls off. But if you just leave that little stem part on there, then it'll continue to grow. So I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so when looking at the eggplant, it's going to flower. And now if that whole thing falls off like that one just did, it was not pollinated and it is gone. But if you leave it, if you see that like it stays on like this, then that is actually an eggplant growing. It won't be this size when you first start, like when it's first pollinated. So it will not be this size when it's first pollinated. This is the eggplant starting to grow in, but it'll probably be around something like that size right over here. So it looks like it's dead, but it's not. It is just growing an eggplant. So I hope that helps. Eggplant, like I said, it's always very tricky. Sometimes I'll think that I just have a plant full of dead flowers, and some of them grow into eggplants, some of them fall off. So you just kind of gotta wait and see. Now guys, look at this shishito pepper plant. Now if you guys remember, this one I cut way back. I trimmed it down to just one shishito pepper plant because when I planted it, it had more shishito pepper plants with it. I think there was like 3 of them, and it was completely stunted and wouldn't grow. It grew a lot of shishitos last year, but they were all kind of wonky. And now it's getting a lot taller and it's growing a ton of shishitos on here. So I'm really excited about this one. I have some more basil in front. I have some parsley, and then also this is my Kentucky Wonder that is putting off some more flowers, but it is not really appreciating this heat. So I do have some long beans that there's some seeds I just put into the ground that I'm waiting for them to pop up to kind of take its place. And then I have the Malabar spinach. This one is giving me some more seeds, so I will be going on and harvesting some more seeds from this one so that then I can dry them. Now, just to let you guys know, there is something super exciting that's coming from this Malabar spinach plant that I'm going to be starting soon, and I'll give you guys details on that later, but I'm pretty excited about it. Now my beef steak tomato, guys. I am so excited about this because I've had the hardest time growing big tomatoes in Arizona, and now look at that. Just this section right here is just so beautiful. And then I have another mint. This one's my mojito mint over here. And then look down here, my squash plants. They're starting to put off their male flowers. This one had some male flowers on it, and now it's getting some female flowers. And then this one is starting with the male flowers too. So hopefully I will start getting some squash soon, but they are starting to get pretty big. So I'm excited about that. My bell pepper is starting to grow back. If you guys remember, I cut these ones way back to kind of give them a little bit of a fresh start. So they're starting to grow back and doing pretty well. And then over here, my Armenian cucumbers are starting to really start to get a little bit taller. So I'm excited for those. Those ones need a lot of heat and to get a lot bigger. So as it warms up, those are going to get even bigger and bigger. And then up here, I just have a little I think this one's chamomile growing in here, so hopefully we'll get more flowers from there. Now this Malabar spinach is starting to expand, so all of these little buds are actually becoming new leaves, like this little guy. And so this one is starting to expand and starting to grow up. So what I think I'm going to do is going to come on here and take all of the older leaves off and just let it produce all of its new leaves and kind of start from fresh. I was going to start a whole new one, but I don't think that I have to because it's starting to grow new leaves on it. So we're going to go from there. Now over here, guys, look at all of my okra starting to get a lot taller. Now okra will lose its first leaves, like the first leaves that open up the seed. Those will fall off and the stem will just look like it's bare. That's how you know your okra is getting ready to really make a big jump. So once it does that, then it just starts getting taller and taller and taller and taller, and it becomes a tree. And then I have some parsley going right here, and then, yes, you guys guessed it, my giant cherry tomato plant is just a canopy of beautiful cherry tomatoes. Now the cherry tomato is really doing well, but it did get some damage from the wind. So these branches are starting to die. What I think I'm going to do is, as the cherries are starting to develop, if the stems don't have any more tomatoes on them, then I am going to take that whole stem off. So that'll kind of trim it back to where it'll give the okra some more light. Now over here I have my beta cucumbers. These ones don't need to be pollinated by a bee, so those ones just kind of grow on their own. They haven't sent out their tendrils yet. They're just getting a lot taller. So once they send out their tendrils, then they will climb up this little arch or this little trellis that I have right here made with chicken wire. I do have my squash, my acorn squash, growing alongside of the scarlet red runner beans, because the scarlet red runner beans are not going to like the heat either, but they are starting to flower a lot. I just want a few red scarlet runner beans because I have not nailed down yet the best time to plant those in Arizona. I either plant them and it gets too cold, or I plant them and it gets too hot. So I know it needs to go in the fall, and that's what I am going to 100% plan for this year. So over here I have my strawberries. They are growing slowly but surely. Oh, look back here, guys. I have a little flower, so hopefully that'll give me another strawberry. And then I just have some flowers in front of it, and then my lemongrass, which I think I'm gonna take another harvest of this lemongrass soon and let that dry out. Now my medicine bed is doing pretty good too. Of course, we have the catnip now back in action. And then we have the chamomile that is starting to aggressively take over the catnip too as well. So I am going to come in and grab some of these flowers when I go to harvest tomorrow, and then as well as my toothache plant, which, guys, look at how big this is getting. This is, if you guys remember, this was only like a little bitty bush when I first harvested the flowers off of it, and now look at it. And then I have a roselle back there too as well. Guys, let me go close up on this little guy. That is a lacewing. Now remember when I told you guys you don't have to douse your garden with pesticides? That little guy is a sign of why you don't douse your garden with pesticides, because nature will have a way of sending in a larger predator to eat whatever it is that is eating your plant. So I have had white flies everywhere recently because we are going in a change of season. And usually when there's a change of season, there are some plants that are at the end of their lives which are going to get attacked by pests, and then there's the new plants coming in. Well, you don't want the plants that are, being attacked by pests to affect the new plants coming in, or any of those bugs to get there. So you keep your soil healthy and you just wait. And nature will send in the appropriate bugs to come in and eat all of those little things. So seeing that little guy lets me know that sooner or later the whiteflies will all be gone. Also, I have another idea for the catnip. So that is going to be revealed later on too. So you guys will just have to wait, but not too long. Now, would you look at here? Look at the midget cantaloupe. It is starting to make its climb. It's sending out its tendrils, and I put 2 plants over here. So a lot of people ask me how tall these get. They only get around, I would say, 3 feet, 4 feet at most, but they will bush out. So as you can see, it puts out a lot of little vines that are going to really cover this. I want this to be really thick because it's going to be hot, so I put 2 of them in hopes that it really covers this entire thing. Now on the other side, I have the green cucumbers that are really starting to make their climb too as well. They haven't put out any cucumbers or any flowers yet, but they're just starting to reach up for the sky and completely climb. So I'm really excited to see what this arch is going to look like in the next couple of weeks, guys. Now my better bush is still putting out its bright red tomatoes. They have a pretty good taste too. They didn't get that huge this year. They got more of like either a saladette or like this like little cherry size, but they do have a really good taste and they are one of my favorites. And then I have the Prescott tomato over here that is growing. Guys, I'm so excited that I have really figured out the secret on this whole tomato business, because having this mini tomatoes has really made my life amazing and better. Last year, I purchased a ton of heirloom tomatoes to make spaghetti sauces so that I can can them. And this year, I don't have to do any of that because I grew them all. Now this year, guys, my lemon balm is really, really thriving. I do have a little bit of sun skull on that one, which is why I brought out the shade cloth. But look at, I cut it back a few days ago, and as you can see, it is starting to bush back out even bigger. So this lemon balm and this lemon balm are really filling my medicinal herb cabinet. And this is basil. It is doing pretty good too as well. I need to start using it more because this basil really bushes up on the stalk. So I want to give it a chance to bush out, and the only way it's going to do that is if you start to prune it. And then look at that. How's that for an impulse buy? We have the mulberry tree that is starting to get taller and taller and taller. I put a little bamboo stake in here because I came out during the last windstorm and it literally was like almost bent in half. And the windstorms in Arizona are notorious for breaking trees in half. So I don't want that to happen, so I gave it a little bit of support. Now guys, trees in Arizona are notorious for getting ripped out of the ground during either monsoon season or just the windy season when it's coming off of spring. So you want to make sure that you stake those. Don't do it too early though, because you want your tree to be able to get strong. So if you're putting in like a little small tree, let it kind of blow in the wind a little bit, kind of get its strength, but when you see that it's getting tall and it's maybe kind of bending over, then go ahead and stake it. You could stake it on two sides, which is how you typically see it done in Arizona. They'll stake one side, and then they'll put a string in the middle to hold the actual stalk or the branch of it, or you could just do what I did since I have it in a pot and just put a bamboo stake in it and call it a day. So I'm excited to see how big this gets, because I looked up other dwarf mulberry trees, and Wiedemann Reap has one in her front yard orchard, and it's pretty big, even though she's calling it a dwarf. It's short, but it's pretty big, so we're gonna see what happens. So getting towards the end of the tour, we have just this little container of leftovers. I am going to come in and grab all of these chives in the next garden tour, because I want to start redoing this pot with something else. So I'm going to grab those chives, and I'm going to make some chive butter with those. And then we have the more squash. We have a crook neck over here, and then this one is a straight neck. And then we have the lime tree looking beautiful as ever. Alright guys, so that is the end of my garden tour. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Remember, we are going to be giving away some really cool stuff. So you're going to be able to start your garden if you already haven't started it, or expand your garden if you already do have one. And then also don't forget, you get an entry every time you comment. So if you haven't commented on any of the videos, you can go back, comment on some more, because I just announced it, so I'll be starting it today. So I'll be going through and starting to gather everybody's comments. But until next time, make sure you grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.